A very warm welcome to IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. I'm Ritwika Gupta and you're watching our Festive Special edition. Yes, for the whole of this week, we are showcasing our Festive Special lineup covering various sectors and businesses. From e-commerce to jewelry, real estate to logistics, food and consumer durables, we've got a festive treat for all of you. On this episode, the focus is going to be on e-commerce. Now, following its mega blockbuster sale, Meesho has been recently in the news for announcing a 9-day reset and recharge break. Tonight on the show, I'll be chatting with Megha Agarwal, CXO Business Meesho on their festive strategy and much more. Plus, we have a special feature report on the ongoing battle between online and offline sales. I'm now joined live by Megha Agarwal, CXO Business Meesho. Thank you so much for joining us today, Megha.
Thank you for having me over. It's absolutely a pleasure to be here. I'm really looking forward to our conversation.
Now, Megha, as per a report released this year by AllianceBernstein, Meesho has emerged as the fastest growing e-commerce platform in terms of user base in India. The report said it's primarily due to Meesho's strategic focus on tier 2 and smaller cities, especially due to its mass positioning operating through a zero commission model. So tell us, what is your take on this? How do you plan to maintain this trajectory?
Sure. I think it goes back to basics. It goes back to what Meesho stands for, what our growth story is. So if I could just take a step back, one of the biggest pillars on which Meesho stands is a very important insight of a consumer. We realize that almost 80-85% of India, which actually resides in tier 2 plus of India, the kind of supply that they consume is largely unbranded. And they are also consumers who are extremely price sensitive. Now, while e-commerce has existed in India probably since 2008, 2009, there has been not so much focus on this consumer base. They were quite underserved by other e-com players. And that was the biggest white space we realized, and we decided to go after it.
Right.
Meesho at this date is one of the lowest cost distribution platforms in India because of the relentless work that the team has put in to ensure that we remove all inefficiencies from the supply chain, whether that is on the supplier side, whether that is on the fulfillment side, all things put together. So because of that, we have seen a brilliant growth.
Okay.
At last month itself, we had almost 170 million users who visited our app in 1 month period. So that's the kind of success we've had. And since it's built on very core principles, very core user insights of what the user consumes, what the price point is, I believe that as Meesho keeps doubling down on these things, we will only be able to go to the next level.
So Megha, as you know, we are having this conversation as part of our very special festive lineup. And I read that Meesho has partnered with many D2C brands to expand its offerings on Meesho Mall. And speaking of Meesho Mall, it has also seen significant growth. So can you talk to us about this move?
Sure. So maybe I'll take a quick step back and talk about what Meesho Mall is. Why did we start? Because that will give a lot more flavor to this question. So Meesho is a very user-first company. That is also one of the mantras. Whatever we do at Meesho, we only do it if we believe that our users want it. So some of the data points that we started to see on our platform was that branded search terms increased by almost 8 times.
Okay.
We also started seeing that our incoming user base, the users that we were acquiring, the share of new to e-commerce, which means that users who've never interacted with any e-commerce apps, were continuously increasing. Almost 40% of our new user base actually comes from a cohort which has never interacted with e-commerce, right? And that's why we went ahead and launched Meesho Mall a couple of years back. We started with beauty and personal care as one of the most important things, but now we have actually expanded ourselves into multiple other categories from electronics, footwear, kitchen, fashion, bags, all of those things have started to expand. So some of the top brands that we actually have on our platform ranges from Mama Earth, Bella Vita, Denver, Himalaya, Dabur, to Liberty, to Bata, you name it and we have it, right? So that was the idea, that we should keep introducing these brands more and more, and that's what Meesho Mall was all about. This festive, it's only a start, but we've seen exceptionally great numbers from these brands. To quote you a few, we saw Denver having a 8x sort of a growth in span of 2-3 days. Bella Vita saw 8x growth. Swiss Beauty, Mama Earth saw almost 5x sort of a growth. So these are just to give you a sense of the kind of growth we actually were able to produce for these brands, while ensuring that users were really happy that we were actually able to bring this assortment to them online.
Fantastic. So Megha, tell us about your expectations from the festive season. What's the kind of uptick in sales or demand have you seen this year?
So yeah, it's just the start of the festive season, but I'm extremely happy with the kind of response we've got. To quote you some numbers, day one, we saw an 100% increase year on year. When I say year on year, I'm talking about day one of MBS Meesho Blockbuster sale last year to this year. And honestly, it rarely happens that we beat our own internal targets because we usually go very aggressive. So I'm extremely humbled and very, very happy with the way users have shown their support, their trust in us. At the same time, the way sellers, all our brand partners have come together to ensure that the fulfillment happens at the same time. To give you some sense of users, day one, we saw 65 million users opening the app on day one itself. In lead up to this Meesho Blockbuster sale, we saw almost 16 million app downloads in that lead up period, making us the most downloaded app in India, which is, again, when we see such sort of numbers, honestly, it makes us more humble, and it makes us that we really want to give our even better, we want to put another better foot forward as we go forward for our consumers, for our brand partners, for our logistics players, for everyone in the ecosystem.
Megha, you had a successful mega blockbuster sale, but tell me, how does this compete with the well-established ones like Amazon's The Great Indian Festival or Flipkart's The Big Billion Days?
I will take a step back here. See, Meesho is a EDLP platform, which means everyday lower prices. What we do, as I mentioned in the earlier when I started, is our mission is to democratize internet commerce. All we want to do is we want to serve this underserved community, this 80% of India that is looking for this price point, that is looking for this supply. So our job literally every single day is to keep coming up with innovative ideas and to have such brilliant execution around them that we are able to deliver these price points and this experience while ensuring quality and experience for them, right? So for us, it is literally every single day that we do this. Now imagine that a platform which is already everyday lower prices. On top of that, when this peak period comes, when the entire wants to buy,
right,
we take prices even lower, right? So for me, our competition is with us only. How do we ensure that every single day we keep getting better and better and keep delivering this better prices?
So as you might know, our show is aimed at providing insights for MSMEs. Tell us, how would you say Meesho plays a part in supporting small businesses?
Sure. Again, this particular question is very, very close to my heart because I think this is core of what we do. As I started with, MSMEs are backbone of India, right? What they produce is what actually is consumed by entire India. And that's what Meesho is trying to do. We are trying to ensure that we make our systems so seller friendly that it becomes extremely easy for them to come on the platform, get activated and start selling. Because our might stands in the kind of distribution that we've been able to develop, right? As I mentioned that right now our monthly active users are almost to the tune of 170 million.
Okay.
Now imagine when we connect these MSMEs to these 170 million users, their business actually expands multi-fold. We give equal opportunities to all suppliers. We don't have a tiering system or anything that some sellers get a platinum mark or whatever it is, right? We don't believe in those things. We believe that if you have a supply that can win, which is meritocratic, it should be able to reach to consumers. So we actually are very bullish and that's what we will keep doubling down on. Non-GST, for example, is another big area that we are doubling down on. We will keep increasing more and more sellers. We've already been able to onboard about 1 lakh of non-GST sellers, and we will keep increasing those numbers.
And finally, before I let you go, what would you say are the biggest opportunities and challenges for Indian companies in the e-commerce space?
Yeah, I think it is, it's how India is. Our e-com penetration is still in single digit. It's to the tune of whatever, 7-8% or so. Whereas if you look at some of the countries like China or US, they are sitting at early 30% now. So India has a very, very long way to go in terms of e-com penetration. We have a very big untapped population, a very large population. So I genuinely believe that that's the biggest opportunity that exists for us, just the sheer base of user base that we have. For me, the challenge is probably lies in the opportunity itself. These people will be coming online for the first time. They would be transacting for the first time.
Okay.
So ensuring how you are able to win their trust, how you are able to make things so easy to understand and discover for them that shopping feels like second nature, that it's not tough, it's not a cognitive load. So I would believe that these would be some of the challenges that the companies will have to overcome to truly understand what this user base wants and be able to actually deliver it. I'll add one more thing. If you think about India, India is actually a fairly heterogeneous country. It's very, very heterogeneous. And therefore, challenge is also to be able to understand that what the user needs and being able to personalize your platform and being able to deliver that value in terms of assortment, value to the consumer. So I would think that would be the biggest challenge.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Megha. I wish you a very happy Diwali, and it was a pleasure chatting with you.
Thank you.
It's time for a quick break here. When we return, we'll bring you a special feature on-ground report on offline and online sales. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. Now, e-commerce has undeniably transformed retail shopping, with countless consumers opting for the convenience of online purchasing. But does this imply that offline sales are becoming less relevant? In this special segment, we'll explore the rise of e-commerce and compare online and offline stores during the festive season. My colleagues Ishita and Rishita hit the ground to bring us the latest report on who's winning the marketplace battle. Let's check in with them to see what they found out.
Yes, Ritwika, we are live from Colaba, and as you can see, the festive hustle is in full swing. Today, we are here to explore one big question. After years of e-commerce growth, has it really overtaken offline shopping, or is there still a long road ahead? Rishita, I have to say that I believe that traditional shopping might just be irreplaceable.
I agree with you, Ishita. While I think that offline stores are the OG, one cannot deny that over the years, e-commerce has growingly transformed the entire retail landscape of India. There has been a constant battle between traditional stores and online platforms. But I believe that more and more consumers are switching towards these online platforms, particularly because of the ease of pricing, convenience, and also these constant discounts. Therefore, I believe we cannot really underestimate the power of online stores here.
Yes, absolutely, Rishita. With the festive season driving consumer spending across segments like smartphones and electronics, let's just understand from people what are their preferences and purchasing decisions during this festive season. But before that, let's understand the state of offline and online marketplaces during this festive season.
According to a recent report by Redseer, the festive season is most likely to help the big three of e-commerce, that is fashion, food and electronics. Now, the Datum Intelligence research shows that the bulk of the consumer demand for online shopping is for mobile phones, electronics and consumer durables. Evidently so, as these categories generate an impressive 79% of the total sales. Online electronic sellers, or e-tailers as we call them, have also specified that this year already they have witnessed newer app installations and stronger demand from even Tier 2 cities.
Now, what makes shopping for electronics online so attractive to consumers, despite the fact that there is a lack of transparency associated with it? Let us find out.
ऑनलाइन नहीं ऑफलाइन खरीद ऐसा हमें तसल्ली होती है उनके बाद कंप्लेंट बहुत करनी पड़ती है हमें चीज़ कैसे निकलेगी ये हमें पता नहीं होता बहुत टेस्ट करके लेते हैं हम
My preference will always be online because I think the discounts they flash, the sales they flash is much better than what you get offline. Moreover, there's a facility to return the products. So I think and all the things and specifications that you see in offline store are readily available online as well, and that to the latest models with a lot of color options. So I think my preference will always be online in terms of technology products that you say.
एज़ पर एज़ टेक्निकल डिवाइसेस आर कंसर्न मैं प्रेफर करती हूँ ऑनलाइन। ऑनलाइन में ये होता है कि हमें बहुत सारी चीज़ें एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म पे मिल जाती हैं, कई वेबसाइट को हम सर्च कर सकते हैं, कंपैरेटिव स्टडी इजी होती है विदाउट गोइंग एनीवेयर। स्पेंडिंग टू मच टाइम इज़ नॉट रिलायबल फॉर अस। वर्किंग होने के साथ साथ हमारे पास इतना टाइम नहीं होता, तो टेक्नोलॉजिकल डिवाइसेस फ़ोन है, मोबाइल है, लैपटॉप है, इनकी शॉपिंग मुझे लगता है कि ऑनलाइन इज़ बेटर।
Over the last quarter, the smartphone segment has seen a decline, but the festive season brings optimism. In the previous years, this period usually accounts for 25 to 30% of their annual sales. In the March quarter, there was a surge in the brick and mortar stores because of an increased demand in the premium devices. Despite the optimism, the e-commerce platforms are stepping on the sales from the brick and mortar stores by offering extraordinary deals and discounts to attract customer base. While there are concerns, in the year 2022, India's offline retail market for smartphones grew 44% in the first half itself. As retailers are trying to cement their position in this segment, it's essential to navigate how retailers are navigating their sales, what key trends are they observing, and how is the consumer behavior shifting. Let's hear it.
कस्टमर्स यहाँ पे आ रहे नहीं है, हम कोटेशन भी देते हैं तो कस्टमर को बोलते हैं मोबाइल दिखा के बता देते हैं कि है ना ऑनलाइन आपसे 10,000 सस्ता मिल रहा है, तो सेल्स भी कैसे बढ़े।
Because of online years, our business has also gone down. Diwali is okay, not last 2-3 years then Diwali is not so high, but it's okay.
अभी जो सेल चल रहा है दिवाली का, जो ऑनलाइन भी चल रहा है काफ़ी, लेकिन ऑफलाइन भी इसकी इतनी कोई भीड़ नहीं कर पा रहे। कंटिन्यूसली जो है कस्टमर इफेक्ट है वो इतना नहीं पड़ रहा है। हर साल जो बहुत सारा सेल्स जहाँ ऑनलाइन होता था वो इतना अभी नहीं है, बिकॉज वहाँ डिस्काउंट नहीं दे पा रहे। गवर्नमेंट ने भी काफ़ी रूल्स लगाए जिसकी वजह से। तो ऑफलाइन जो है इसके अंदर भी कस्टमर रिव्यूज़ बहुत ही अच्छा है, क्योंकि कस्टमर चाहते हैं कि प्रोडक्ट देखना चाहते हैं, तो कस्टमर को देखने को यहाँ मिल जाता है। ऑनलाइन वो मिलता नहीं, और ऑनलाइन अभी पॉलिसी भी चेंज कर दिया जिसके अंदर वो ओपन बॉक्स दिखा लेते हैं, लेकिन उसके बाद रिटर्न पॉलिसी नहीं होती, जो सर्विस सेंटर से करवाना पड़ता है। और सेल्स एज कंपेयर देखें तो काफ़ी हद तक अभी थोड़ा सा डाउन हुआ है, बट दिवाली सीजन है तो ऑफकोर्स थोड़ा सा अच्छा भी है इसका सेल्स।
The beauty and retail industry is also not left behind in this festive wave for e-commerce. According to a report by Amazon India, 71% people have planned to shop online for this season. The survey also revealed that 86% of Gen Z shoppers plan to purchase fashion items online. Popular brands are making the best use of this festive shopping by raining irresistible deals and discounts. E-commerce retail players have not just stopped at discounts this season, but have also ushered in the power of partnered credit cards through which customers can avail additional off on their purchases.
It is now essential to assess what makes the beauty and fashion e-commerce sectors so attractive. What is driving the customers, particularly the Gen Z, to shop for their fashion and beauty products online?
Offline is better because you can choose, like you can see the preferences better, and you can get the perfect sizes. Unlike online, sometimes it's not available online. So yeah, offline. During festive season in offline shops, there are a lot of people who are, it's like packed, so it's better online during festive season.
Fashion, as to buying clothes, I like to do it in malls, offline with my parents or my sister. So online there are much better offers and discounts. I would prefer doing it online for festivals.
The wave of digitization and India's unique payment infrastructure made e-commerce an absolute option, especially during COVID, when it came to the fashion and beauty segment. With the advent of e-commerce, the fashion industry has witnessed a shift as well as a change in the consumer behavior. E-commerce is revolutionizing India's fashion retail market as well, as the trends are no longer confined to the high-end stores. With the availability of products online, the consumers still want to touch and feel before buying expensive items and for special occasions. During Diwali period, Indians go all out to look their best by buying traditional attires. In 2023, the Indian retail market expanded from 895 billion in 2022 to 950 billion, and the fashion segment accounted for about 10%, with the overall segment growing by 6%. With the growing demand, the brick and mortar stores are coming back in fashion. Now, let's hear from the fashion store retailers as festivities hike a surge in the consumer spending. Let's hear from them on their take on consumer spending in offline stores and any strategies they are adapting to increase their customer base.
Every year it got decreasing. फिर भी लास्ट 4-5-6 दिन तो गिराकी रहता ही, सब लास्ट मोमेंट में आते हैं. न्यू जनरेशन ऑनलाइन प्रीफर करते हैं, बाकी सब जो रेगुलर कस्टमर्स है वो ऑफलाइन यहाँ पे आके ज़्यादा पसंद करते हैं.
गिराकी रहता है लेकिन ये टाइम थोड़ा कम है, 15-20 का फर्क है. ऑनलाइन की वजह से 15 से 20 का फर्क है.
The festive season has had a huge impact on the F&B sector as well. While quick commerce platforms are increasingly upping the 24/7 delivery services, these big companies are continuously hiring more and more staff to keep up with the surge. Let us hear from the restaurant owners themselves. What do they think about these changes?
Basically, we serve people the most delicious and interesting that they have been want to eat, that we are serving it. During the festive season, most of the time we got dinings because people prefer to eat here to have a comfortable place or enjoy music or some like funny things.
At Bademia, during festive seasons, we receive a lot of crowd and they come to us with trust for tasty food. We do a lot of deliveries as well, and our clients come to experience food while dining with us as well.
Well, Rishita, it seems that both types of marketplaces are trying to coexist with each other during the festive season, with customers making choices depending upon their preferences and occasions.
I think you're absolutely right, Ishita. We can conclude that while offline stores promote a simpler way of payment, ease and convenience, and also affordable pricing, on the other hand, these traditional and offline stores continue to thrive in segments specifically where the consumers prefer quality assurance and a tangible experience of shopping. With that, we come to the end of our festive season special report. Over to you, Ritwika.
Well, thank you so much, ladies, for that fascinating report. I'm sure our viewers took away a lot of valuable information, highlighting how both types of marketplaces can coexist to benefit not just small businesses, but also help customers make informed choices. And with that, we wrap up today's episode. Don't forget to join us tomorrow as we shine the spotlight on jewelry and real estate sectors during the festive period. Thank you so much for watching. IDFC First Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12, wishing all our viewers a very happy Diwali and a festive season. Good night.